no azalea ever bloomed in November at Amen Corner. Just like no ceremonial tee shot has ever ridden the autumn breeze. What happens to a tradition unlike any other when it comes in a year unlike any we've seen before? It changes. This year, the Masters may not be played with patrons in the stands, but it will be played. Rough winds don't shake a tradition this strong. The Masters is perennial. While the years that have come before remind us of who we are, they also force us to reinvent. There are too many new moments waiting to be added to our rich history. While this year's roars may not be heard, they will be felt. Electrifying the air above the same greens, watched over by the same pines as victories past. Greatness realized without thunderous applause is no less great. And come Sunday, our champion will claim their green jacket. In this year unlike any other, the Masters plays on.
From Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia, welcome back to Amen Corner as round 3 is underway. The second round concluded this morning. 60 players have made the cut, and those 60 will play off both 1 and 10 in groups of 3. Hello and welcome, Grant Boone and Mark Immelman. And Mark, after that nearly 3-hour weather delay on Thursday morning, we are back on schedule and ripe for something special this weekend as we take a look at the weather.
We certainly are, Grant, and color me surprised. In the end, the 2-round cut fell at even par, and I was almost for sure it would be -1, but looking at these conditions, I have to feel the chilly conditions have played a part in that. It's still quite brisk out, the golf ball's not traveling, bright sunshiny skies, light breezes right now. So if you can pick the distance the golf ball is traveling with a receptive golf course, you can still take advantage.
For the second consecutive year, there is a 5-way tie for the lead at the midway point. But for the first time ever, the top 3 players in the official World Golf Rankings are tied for the lead going into the weekend. Dustin Johnson, number 1 in the world. Jon Rahm, number 2. Justin Thomas, number 3. Along with a couple of players who have proven themselves on big stages. Abraham Ancer, a winner of the Australian Open, a great event internationally, and the Aussie Cameron Smith, twice a winner on the PGA Tour. There's Patrick Reed, Patrick Cantlay, a couple of proven Americans. Reed has proven himself right here. The Englishman there at 7 under par. Louis Oosthuizen is going to play with Phil Mickelson and Brooks Koepka in round 3. And there's Tiger Woods, the defending champion. He's tied for 17th, just as Jack Nicklaus was in 1986, as Jack sought a 6th green jacket. Both 33rd in the world rankings entering 86 and 2020. And both 4 shots off the lead entering the weekend, seeking a 6th green jacket. Could it be for Tiger, who ties the great Tom Watson with a 21st consecutive made cut? That's tied for 3rd best all time behind Gary Player and Fred Couples at 23. Corey Connors a 65 in round 2, matching the low round of the week to make the cut. Siwoo Kim with a 3-putt at the 18th hole in the last group of round 2, and that drops him back to 3 under. Adam Scott had a bit of a bad break, Mark, when an approach shot hit the flagstick and bounced back into the water. We'll see Adam Scott very early in our Amen Corner coverage here in round 3.
And all these guys on that page that you see, Scott, Snedeker, Westwood, who had a good first round of 4 in the park, Christian Besaidner, these are all people who can get out, try and take advantage, make inroads early, and try and surge one's way up the leaderboard, because 2 under par, just 7 back, there's still a lot to play for.
Jordan Spieth made about a 15-foot putt at the 18th hole just moments ago to make the cut on the number. And Bryson DeChambeau made bogey at the 18th to fall to even par. It was very close to being 1 under par for the cut. Instead, DeChambeau, who came off the course after shooting a round of 74 and said he had been feeling dizzy, actually got tested for COVID, said he passed the test. He will play here in round 3, but said he is not 100% by any means. Our first group at Amen Corner includes an Augusta native, Charles Howell III. Again, these players whom we'll see for the next couple of hours began on 10.
If it's northeast, it's straight down. Exactly.
That northeasterly breeze they speak of, just light, should be downwind over his right shoulder here on the 11th. That drill with the right foot back, that's just to help the body rotation going back, but to also slow down the pivot through the golf ball, get the club back in front of one. It assists in hitting a draw.
Well, there's another way to draw it. Are friendly to the Augusta native. Now Kevin Na.
Even par through Amen Corner. You do that and you say amen and amen and go on, and just want to make sure one's completely focused, get the distractions out. Hit 18 greens in regulation in round 1, Kevin Na. Had a horrid time of it with a putter, but a good second round, -3.
One more here. It is the Frenchman in his first Masters appearance, Victor Perez.
A Frenchman who went to university in New Mexico, now currently resides in Scotland, very close to the old course at St Andrews, where he's had his 1 European Tour win in the Alfred Dunhill Links Challenge. Tall, lanky man, big wide swing, powerful.
Very good.
You'll like that one. And again, with the split tees, the scores that we will see early in our Amen Corner coverage will be those who are higher up the leaderboard. The deeper we go into this first wave, the further down the leaderboard the players will be. Amen Corner, holes 11, 12, and 13. Let's begin, Mark, with the 11th, White Dogwood.
And the 11th is the welcome, but not so welcoming, at 505 yards downhill off the tee. Fairway dog legs to the right, but the fairway tilts to the left-hand side. Anything to the top of the hill here, and you're in good shape to look down about 30 yards or so down the hill to this green. It sits at an angle to the players from front right to back left. Of course, the pond guarding anything to the right-hand side is, of course, the safety. It's played benign this week with a little down breeze assist. 16 birdies is more than we normally see. And that front left hole location, that's the most accessible, but it does bring that pond into play.
And years past, that was a Sunday hole location, most notably 1996 with Norman and Faldo. How about Golden Bell today, the 12th?
She's a gem, isn't she? The shortest hole on the golf course, narrow green from front to back. Just a wedge or 9-iron for most of the field here, and almost incomprehensibly, only about 50% of the players finding this green in regulation. Down breeze right now, but the breeze can swirl around this place, and that's what makes it difficult. 29 birdies made, and for that hole location, anything in the heart of the green would be fine.
And then the par 5 13th to round out Amen Corner, Azalea.
Azalea, iconic. 90-degree dogleg around those tall pine trees. A drive hugging the fairway will leave you lie with a ball well above your feet. And from there you play away with a long iron or medium iron to a very tilted green. Well bunkered on the left-hand side. And that creek that meanders down the right guards the right-hand side of a very undulating green. Hole location today, all the way in the back left-hand corner. That's a very small plateau. Anything to the right of that leaves you an uphill putt. Eagles and birdies on the offing here, but do not miss long or left today.
This 13th is where we saw John Rahm roll in a birdie putt right when we signed on this morning for the resumption of play in round 2. He tied the lead, and he wound up making 5 pars, I should say, coming in to tie the lead. By the way, a couple of other notes as we go along here today. We'll remind you, 60 players made the cut at even par. It's the lowest cut ever in this, the 84th Masters. 1 over had been the previous low cut. Bernhard Langer, the oldest ever to make the cut at the age of 63, and Tiger Woods, 21 consecutive cuts made at the Masters, now tied with Tom Watson for 3rd all-time behind Gary Player and Fred Couples, who made it 23 in a row. These did not make the cut. Matthew Wolff, a real struggle after a terrific Thursday. Jason Day, a mighty struggle coming in this morning. Mark, how surprised are you about Jason Day?
Well, pretty well surprised, and surprised at Matthew Wolff too, albeit the fact that he's a debutant, and it's always difficult to figure out Augusta National on your first go around. But for Jason Day, played beautifully last week in Houston. I figured he would parlay that on a golf course where he's had a lot of success.
Howell.
Very solid iron striker, but that's safely out to the right-hand side. And the golf course now beginning to firm up a little bit with the chilly breezes, with the bright sunshine. It's going to be an ever-evolving challenge throughout the afternoon.
Right through. Yeah. And it's down after that? Yes.
Perez made bogey at the 10th, his first hole of round 3.
This is one of those challenges around Augusta National where it's not hit the shot you want to, it's hit the correct shot. And with that pond to the left, it forces your iron to the right-hand side, wind over your left shoulder. Anything safely to the right, and you are doing business.
That could be the difference from Howell in putting versus pitching. We'll see what each opts to do. Pitch out for Na.
If you get on the correct side of that mogul right there, it can help you to get it to the green, but that better drop the anchor. It's going to be okay now.
Yeah, it should stop. His feet might be in that second cut, but he'll have a third shot coming up with just a little bit of green to work with. We're underway in round 3 of the 84th Masters, and what a day, what a weekend we have in store for you. For live streams, scoring, news, and more, visit masters.com. some third shots at the 11th. Nas will be, one would think, the most difficult of the three.
At the outset, you would think so, as we see him walking up to the green, just to get a bead on where he would like the golf ball to land, also get an idea. You see him pacing it off exactly how far that landing spot would be. But from this angle, if he's got a sound lie, he is highly proficient with the wedge, and you're playing to a green that's tilted towards him. So I would expect Kevin Na to hit a good one from here.
Well judged. Not in yet. Well, that'll be for par for Na.
It's one of those hole locations, Grant, that's a real dilemma for the players because it looks inviting from up in the fairway. But when you're playing from on high to a green below you, what breeze there is can have more effect on the golf ball. It's a pretty narrow quarter down there. You have to be very precise. This one should break a lot from his right.
Thinking about this whole location, Mark, back in 1996, it was the first Masters I had the pleasure of covering, following Faldo and Norman. Norman hit an amazing shot into this 11th, and just about maybe 5 feet for birdie, ran it past, missed, and then missed the comebacker. And it was already a difficult day, and things got worse from there. But that was indicative of what happens when you get above the hole, especially at holes like 11.
Well, this 11th hole is certainly Nick Faldo's favorite hole in all of the world.
Yeah, you think so?
Oh man, I've actually asked him about it. Won a couple playoffs on this hole, white dogwood.
Siwoo Kim. And again, Mark, who knows what impact, if any, it will make, but his 3-putt at the 18th hole just about not even an hour ago meant that he begins on 10 instead of being one of the first groups off the first hole. Drops him back to 3 under par. And again, 6 shots off the lead versus 5. That's significant, obviously, but we'll see how that all plays out. It means that Rory McIlroy, Bernhard Langer, and the amateur John Augenstein are the first group off the first hole today. What a confluence of careers that is, as we see Imahita.
Slightly built man. Generates a lot of energy. And very accurate off the tee.
All right, a par putt here for Kevin Na.
That wasn't his smoothest transition ever. Looked a little race there from backstroke to downstroke, unlike Kevin Na.
I mentioned earlier Adam Scott caught a tough break with shot that hit a flagstick and came back into the water.
Gosh, get out there.
He's added a 46.5-inch driver to his bag and has been hitting it a ton. That might be okay down there in the lap of the gods.
Charles Howell, the third, up on the green at the 11th. And again, the difference, we've talked about it all week, the difference in putting from the correct side of the hole. Na was not on the correct side, had a really tough putt. Howell was, made it. See about Victor Perez from the correct side. Still have to make it, but considerably easier. You're actually making a putting stroke rather than just kind of tapping it. Familiar face you may recognize, J.P. Fitzgerald, longtime caddy for Rory McIlroy.
Feeling a semblance now
to where it should be.
Oh yeah. Just going to shot with a 9 at the wedge.
Yeah.
Shot with a 9.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Because there it does that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I do. Okay, let's call it left to right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Happy?
Yes.
At the 12th, and Charles Howell III, and Mark, it bears repeating. This site, perhaps more than any other, reveals just how stark the absence of patrons is. This tee at 12.
Wind just over the left shoulder. It's a narrow avenue in which to hit the golf ball to between those two bunkers. Have to be very precise with contact and distance. And indeed a good one.
That would be a good tee shot for tomorrow's expected hole location over on the right. Be good for that one as well. There's the great look that we were talking about. Normally you'd see thousands of patrons getting a look at the 11th green and the 12th tee.
And there's a number
Perez.
of folks that would sit there on that hill, and then right in behind there would be a huge patron observation stand, almost close to that television tower. One of the grandest spots in the world's game to watch guys hit iron shots. Just a short iron, but capricious, this little hole.
Okay.
Definitely some help in there. Could it be one less? I don't think it's one less.
Kevin Na.
Off the left to help him.
Kenny Harm's been the bagman for a long time. Kenny, vastly experienced, knows exactly how far his charge hits the golf ball. I better get down. It's turning.
All right. We'll see if Perez opts to putt his. It may depend on how hard it landed and if it's sitting down a touch. 11, Shugo Imahira.
Characteristically way down the grip there. He likes to hit the ball low. And keeping it low down the hill is not a bad idea. And how about this bounce? Settle down now. There have been years, Grant, that a ball would hit that mogul and end up in the pond.
Yes. It's a year unlike any other. First ever November Masters. The colors are different. The golf course, sublime as always, but a very different kind of test. Kim at 11. Mark, as we check in on Adam Scott at the 11th.
Trying to go with a low hook around the right-hand side. He's got to sit down now.
Look at this.
And it's pretty hot. That better settle. There's a little hill there.
The grass is a little thicker right there. It holds it up. Amazing. We are hearing, Mark, some players commenting after they finished up this morning, and they indeed said that the green speeds were different. The ball didn't seem to be going quite as far because of the cool weather.
And that makes it challenging, but golf is the ever-evolving thing, and the one thing these golfers do, especially this man, a Masters champion, is they have the ability to react, to adjust, to adapt. That's one of the great skills of the professional, because you're playing on a live medium, the grass, you're playing through a volatile medium, the air, and sometimes the golf swing can be a little volatile too, and certainly the emotions, so you have to be able to adjust, to make decisions on the fly.
Some birdie putts at the 12th. Mark, as you have processed what has happened through 36 holes, what names jump out either among those who made the cut or those who didn't? Among the most notable in your mind would be what in terms of scores?
Well, most notable would be Dustin Johnson, who just is cutting a dashing figure through 2 rounds. Justin Thomas is not playing his best stuff, but really keeping himself in contention, tied for the lead. John Rahm has got all the tools, we know that, and he's just got all sorts of a little something special on his side right now. He's had 2 holes in 1 this week, had a birthday earlier this week, so John Rahm, it's been special already. But I keep my eyes trained on Rory McIlroy. Bad first day, nothing went his way. Has come in here playing well and shoots 66. Now he's quickly 1 under through 2 holes, and if he can put up a good round, you never know.
At the 11th, Siwoo Kim.
Very stout short game this man possesses. When he won his Players Championship, chipped and putted from all over the TPC Sawgrass, the stadium course.
On the tee at 11, Christian Bezuidenhout. Perez at the 12th. Looks like he does have putter.
Tough one to read here. As soon as the ball's on the green, it'll dart quickly to his left. So you've got to start this one high enough, but if you start it too far to the right, it won't move enough. There you go. That one was always awkward. Almost essentially just trying to get that one close enough to make 3.
Adam Scott, awkward 3rd. Beautifully done. Cameron Champ at the 11th.
Just easy speed, 321 yards on a lower ball flight. So the man is a gift.
To 12, Howell, birdie.
There's the evidence. Those greens have picked up a click of speed.
And back at the 11th, Mark Leishman.
Likes to move it from the left to the right. He's played well around Augusta National, Mark Leishman.
He played with Adam Scott on Sunday in 2013, and one of the indelible images, and there were many that week, was Leishman's reaction when Scott made birdie at 18. And ultimately, of course, Scott prevailed in the playoff. Imahita, the 11th.
That reaction was a fist pump when his good buddy knocked in the putt on the 18th. But that's indicative of who Mark Leishman is.
Yeah.
He's truly one of the great guys in the world's game.
All right, so round 3 well underway. Rory McIlroy has an early birdie. Tiger Woods with a par at the first. We'll see them later on at Aben Corner. Little tap in here for Adam Scott. After that tee shot, to have this for a par. He took 2 tremendous shots and a small bit of good fortune. Those are the tee times for our leaders. Eastern time here in the U.S. The top 3 players in the world among the 5 players tied for the lead. Dustin Johnson number 1, Jon Rahm number 2, Justin Thomas number 3 in the world. Abraham Ancer a sneaky 21st in the official world golf rankings. We take you to the 12th. Mark, you were talking about the numbers that jumped out at you through the first 36 holes. To me, it's Rory McIlroy, 75 in round 1, 66 in round 2, an early birdie. He's gone from 77th place after round 1 into the top 25.
Always rotates through the golf ball so powerfully. Si Woo Kim likes to fade the golf ball from left to right, and that just shortened to the left of that middle hole location is a grand spot from which to putt.
Charles Howell III at 13.
Going with less than driver, hitting trying to flat draw around the corner, and that is position A1, scintillating stuff.
Imahita.
Every shot we've seen him hit, Grant, he's been well down the grip handle of the club. Those fingers are nearly on the steel.
May steal a birdie here.
I need to steal that tip. I should go and try that next week. I'll play a little golf, have some time off. I'm going to try and go down the grip some. Justin Thomas does that a lot with a driver.
The great Canadian LPGA player Brooke Henderson noted for that as well. On the tee at 13. Perez.
At 6'5", he can't afford to go down the grip of the club. This is a tall man.
At the 12th, Adam Scott.
Just so elegant, so fundamentally sound all the time. Just a little bit late with a short iron, but that's not a bad spot at all.
No, it isn't. We mentioned groove low. Now Kevin Na at the 13th.
They've pushed that teeing ground as far left on the teeing area as one's possible. And that It just makes this tee shot a little bit more of an angle from right to left.
Mark Leishman.
Driving the arms down and threw that into a short follow through. Probably had a little too much club, trying to take the speed off, and that is grand stuff there. Great control.
And a great place from which to putt as well.
Always a good idea to keep flexible, stretch those hamstrings out, the lower back, the mid back. Important place in the golf swing.
Christian Bezuidenhout had to pitch out from the trees. Here's Champ. First Masters for the Californian by way of Texas A&M. Patrick Reed with a birdie at 18 to finish up round 2 to get to 8 under par. Having proven himself, Reed, around Augusta National 2 years ago. '26 first-time participants mark at the Masters. You mentioned Cameron Champ being one of those. Here's another.
Caddy Johan Swanepoel in Afrikaans saying to Christian, there's a slope in behind the hole that you can use. You don't want to take it too long. If you hang one up there, it leaves you a lightning fast putt.
To 12, Siwoo Kim for birdie.
That putt is surprisingly straight. You'll see a lot of head scratching from down there. That might be the straightest putt on the green.
Scott for birdie.
This one too shouldn't be too much movement. Maybe just off the right edge. Rattles it home. Beautiful birdie too for Adam Scott.